So those who don't know me, my name is Stephen John Irby, aka Steve Sweatpants. Born in Brooklyn, East Flatbush, raised in Jamaica, Queens, Rosedale. I didn't go to art school. I didn't go to any kind of shit like that. I just a regular kid, college dropout, and then now I'm a co-founder, director, and a photographer for Street Dreams magazine, and I've been doing that for the past 3 to 5 years now.
How did you get involved in doing photography?
I first got involved into photography because of, I used to work a lot with like different musicians and different rappers and all that kind of shit like that, and we always try to create something together to make something of, make a legacy for someone. So instead of like, doing it for somebody that was just like an egotistical asshole, I decided to do that for, people that are like-minded and then that we share the same vision and we cared about the same overall goal. So I got into photography because of Instagram. Long story short, it was the fact that you could just see somebody take a mobile photo and it would be a banger, and I was just trying to figure out how it seemed so easy to do it. I just wanted to give it a shot, and then it started from that, and then at the same time with the rapper shit, it's a fusion of all these things happening at once. So if it wasn't for photography, I wouldn't be here right now, though. That's some real shit.
What was the significance of photography when you were growing up?
The significance of photography when I was growing up is it was more of a sentimental value, So for me, it was looking at family photos. So looking at family photos was like, seeing something like my grandma, my grandpa rather, or seeing something with, like my parents just kicking it, like an old school photo of my pops. Those moments are something that, I've always kind of really cherished. So like me getting into photography is honestly just me wanting to create sentimental moments that I can share with my friends and family forever.
What are some moments that you've captured?
Some moments that I've captured is literally everything. It could be something as small as, catching something like around my neighborhood, like of people like around the bodega series, of catching different people around the way, or going to Cuba and catching like little kids boxing, or having a chance to go to Thailand for like Thai New Year, like I said, it could be just something like just easy for me just to be like around the way in New York, where I want to be taking more photos at anyway.
For your photography, do you have a signature style that you perfected, or are you more spontaneous when shooting?
My photography style would just basically be transparency, I love black and white photos, like for the texture, like black and white, if I want to really establish like a strong black and white style, but I can't even say that, I hope somebody can recognize my photo if there was like, when it comes down to that, but I can't say, if somebody would or not, but I know I want to represent bold black and white photography and and warm tones.
When did the idea of being a full-time photographer and artist come to your head?
It never really comes to you like that. It's like when I got into the situation to be a full-time photographer, it wasn't like I set out to do that all my life. I came into that because of all the situations that I kind of put myself into. Not working at my current job anymore, working with people that are other creative people, and then this is everything that comes into fruition. I just didn't wake up in the morning and say I want to be a full-time photographer. I mean, everything kind of evolves into that. So it's now it's my life, But that wasn't my life like 6 years ago.
What pushes you to do what you do?
It's easy. Like this is like I don't want to have somebody. I have a problem with authority, so I don't like people telling me what to do. And on top of that, I have a problem with not investing into my own future. So if I'm investing into somebody else's future and having somebody tell me what to do all the time, I don't care what it is. It's not going to work out.
Do you have a favorite project that you've worked on?
All the Nike projects that I've worked on have been really sentimental for me because all the moments that we created, and definitely my favorite project to date has probably been the Sony Alpha Cuba trip for sure. Getting to do that experience with them, that was really ill.
Can you tell us a little bit about what you enjoyed about that experience?
The Sony Alpha trip was, you get to go to Cuba for 7 days with 7 creative people, and it's everything that, everybody's just going up, feeding off of everybody's, each other's energy, and we're in a place that is, filled with texture and history. And you're experiencing this with, like I said, with 7 other creative people. So the kind of chemistry that you develop with them is something that you can have for a lifetime. So you know, it was just one of those trips that you can't make up, you know.
Aside from doing photography, do you have 2 lesser known things that you love to do?
2 other things that I love to do. I love to play video games. I'm a big video game nerd. I have a PS4 Pro, and Nintendo Switch. I don't have an Xbox. I don't want an Xbox actually. But yeah, I don't know if anybody never really knows me. Like, I definitely play a lot of video games, and I'm a TV addict. You know, I'm addicted to TV and film, so like I watch, literally try to watch everything under the sun.
What's one of your favorite games or shows?
Favorite shows to watch is Mr. Robot, hands down. Cinematography, plot, everything is like the A1, you know what I'm saying? Game right now, the Super Mario joint is just insane. It's like the clouds look so crazy, I can't get over it. It looks insane. Yeah, the new Super Mario game is insane. It feels like an acid trip, but like a controlled acid trip. But the Nintendo is just ill because like they just know how to like, you know how to just, they can take nostalgia and then reimagine nostalgia every single time, and like something I always admire about Nintendo. So like that's why I'm obsessed with Mario. The new one's really dope.
Do you draw some of the inspiration from what you kind of observe into what you do?
Every day. That's why I'm so obsessed with other platforms of like, you know, visual, you know, any kind of visual platform, I'm on it, you know. So that's, for me, I'm a super visual person. I don't read as much books because it's just boring for me, you know. Not saying I don't, you know, there's nothing wrong with reading at all, but like, you know, I make a magazine, you know, but like just the you know, I just don't want to read too many words. I want to just be consumed with the pictures and like the visuals. So like that's why I love to watch like TV and films and like play video games, because it's all this constant inspiration I draw from.
What has been the greatest piece of advice that you've ever been given?
Don't live to pay your rent. Pretty much. They keep it simple. They don't keep it. It's not too deep. You know, there are other things to worry about, like, you know, that will gradually get into that, but like keep it simple. And my pops told me don't live to pay your rent, so I'll definitely always live by that.
What hurdles did you face when you first wanted to start doing what you love?
It's more or less, it's like a lot of self-doubt, you know, like you just don't think that you're supposed to be doing what you love to do, because a lot of a systematic thinking of like, you know, I'm supposed to get this kind of job and I'm supposed to do that. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's just not for everybody. So the sooner I realized that like a lot of that shit wasn't for me, everything else opened up. It was like, I got fired from pretty much every job. And I got fired for those jobs because I don't want to be there, you know. It's not because I couldn't do the work, it's because they know that I wasn't supposed to be there, so it all makes sense.
Looking back, what do you think attributed to your success?
Maybe the persistence. I mean, if you truly want something, you gotta do it yourself. I don't mind doing that shit by myself. And then I think that, I don't know if that contributes to success or like, or whatever that means, but like, you know, I'm just persistent, and if I want to make it happen, it will happen. You know, that's pretty much it. It's not even like trying to talk shit about it. It's like, that's how you have to kind of see it, you know. And if you don't see it that way, then it just won't happen.
What part of being an artist fulfills you?
It's a constant fulfillment, you know. I think that being an artist is half the time it's not saying that you're an artist. I think it's just more like an observant of the world, and like you just want to like replicate, you know, either showcase what you want to like represent in the world, or like, you know, or just build a community around people that want to share the same kind of things about it. But it's never about being an artist. It's more or less just being a part of the world and respecting what's going on, and just trying to, like, you know, bring people together and help people. That's all it's about for me. Aside
from photography, do you see yourself doing anything else? Have you dabbled in anything? Are you interested in anything?
The photography is part one of what I do every day. Like I said, I was the co-founder of Street Dreams and the director. So that's an everyday job that I do just as much as photography. I mean, I don't really shoot as many photos as I would like to, you know, because usually I'm doing a lot of emails, a lot of meetings, and a lot of like preparing and planning for like the future of what we want to do with Street Dreams and where we want it to go. So, like photography is my release. But my real job is what I started with Eric and Mike back about 3 years ago.
What would you like to be recognized for currently?
Just a good dude. That's pretty much it. Like there's nothing. There's no crazy like ulterior motive to like my whole. There's no evil scheme. He's like, oh no, like Steve was just chill and he tried to put people on and like, he tried to help people. That's pretty much it. He played video games. I probably spoke weed with him once or before. Like just being a man of the world. You know what I'm saying? That's all I really care for.
Could you walk us through the initial process and idea of your current art show called Shooters here in Seattle, and what you like to do with it in the future, and what motivated you to do it?
The whole point of the show in Seattle, and just like hopefully what we could just do in other cities, hopefully we want to do Chicago, New York, LA, Atlanta. But the whole point of these shows is just all the communities that of creatives that's been there that all of us are aware of is never really tapped into in a pure way, and then that's truly trying to represent other photographers' work. So the point of that show is a lot of the people that was involved and all the people that I've picked into into that show is all the people that I've grown with over the past 3 years, you know, or somebody that I've admired their work forever, you know. And then at the same time, it's like we could all be on the same platform in the same medium, and we could share all this together because it's not about this is about Steve's show or this is about anybody else's show. This is about what it means for photography in general, and what it means for Seattle, and what represents, keeping you guys together. So hopefully if everything works out, then like the next 2-3 years, we could all link up together and everybody's in a different place, and we can all keep on, working together and do some other ill shit, or we could work together on something smaller, whatever it is like we have to be doing something that, as a team and as a unit, and then that's why I always feel like everybody moves stronger in numbers, It's like some Wu-Tang shit on everything. So I just want to bring that mentality to other people and just to share that. So one hand washes the other. So if I could show you that, then hopefully, you could return the favor, if not for me, for somebody else or like anybody else in your immediate area. But it should just be happening more often. So that's the whole point. The whole point of the shows is like celebrating the shooters and celebrating our work is one thing to put it on that level, but then now let's go way past that. You know what I'm saying? This is just the first step. Like everybody's so short-sighted, but it's a long game. Like this shit is just not about this 3 months shit. This is about like 5, 6, 7 years down the line. So if you don't take it seriously now, then nobody will ever really take it seriously. So that's pretty much all what the show is about.
What do you think the future of photography will be?
I can't tell you what the future will be, but I could just tell you like if we do our due diligence to like represent like the honest side of it, or represent each other's work, or representing other creatives that that are doing their thing or holding it down or whatever, or just don't get enough shine, or whatever platform it is or whatever narrative, we just have to do our due diligence to do what we have to do to make sure that when we look back on it, that we have something to actually like be proud of. You know what I'm saying? And if you're just doing some fad shit, then like, are you gonna be proud of that? It's like I'm not gonna be proud of it to be a fad. That's the last thing I want to be. You know what I'm saying? So.
What are you looking forward to for the new year?
I need to start going. It's just to keep it going. Just keep on working. Just like I said, it's a long game. So as long as we can keep on building our foundation and just, keep on building and fucking with people that are, are just genuine, then like sky's the limit for everything that we could do. You know what I'm saying?
What are 4 thoughts that you've had?
4 thoughts I had was, when is everybody else gonna wake up? Did the Knicks win? When am I gonna get this Visvim book bag I've been looking at for months? And what we're gonna eat? Pretty much that's all I really have on my mind right now.